You ever walk into a room and just know everybody's already decided who you are? Like, before you even sit down, they've written your whole story, and it's not exactly flattering. That was me. A Tuesday morning in Dallas County Court, sneakers squeaking on the tile, binder under my arm, barely 19, and you could feel the whole room sizing me up. Not a soul in there thought I belonged. Not the bailiff who barely looked up, not the bored folks in the gallery, and sure as hell not Officer Dennis Kilroy sitting up there on the witness stand, arms folded, wearing that look you get from a cop who's seen a million traffic stops and thinks he's seen every trick in the book. But let me back up a sec. I'm Zariah Benton, and I'd been prepping for this day for weeks. 3 minutes early. Always. Just enough time to walk in like I owned the place, but not long enough for nerves to catch up. Black Converse, thrifted slacks, old blazer with sleeves rolled up. No makeup, no jewelry, hair in a low bun. You know, just to make sure nobody confused me for someone trying to impress. Judge Lennox, old school, silver beard, sat up a little straighter as I walked by, probably wondering what I was doing at the defense table. I sat, opened my binder, thick, messy, labeled Kilroy Cross in my handwriting, and started flipping pages. The other lawyer shot me a look. Ma'am, this table's for counsel. I didn't even look up. I am counsel. He blinked. Wait, you're the one handling Cross. I looked up deadpan. Yes. The room went quiet, and then Kilroy just had to open his mouth. This some kind of student court thing, he said, a little too loud, leaning over to the court officer. What is this, debate club? A few chuckles rolled through the gallery. Yeah, that happened. But I just clicked my pen, made a note, and waited for the judge to call the room to order. When he finally did, I stood up, steady, no shaking, no fake voice. Your Honor, defense is ready to proceed with cross-examination. That got some raised eyebrows. Kilroy just leaned back, like he was waiting for me to trip. So I walked up, nice and slow, and asked, Officer Kilroy, you've been on the force how long? He puffed his chest. 23 years. Great, I said, flipping pages. Then you're familiar with protocol on routine traffic stops. He nodded. Let's talk about April 6th, my client, stop sign on Parker Road, for 17 p.m. You said he was acting twitchy and argumentative. That right? He smirked. Yep, that's the one. I stopped, looked him straight in the eye. Did you have your body cam activated? Of course. Was the footage submitted? Yeah. So I turned to the judge. Your Honor, with your permission, I'll be referencing the officer's own footage. The judge nodded. Kilroy still looked bored, but you could feel the room starting to shift. Officer Kilroy, I said, your report says the intersection was clear, daylight, low traffic. Correct. I held up a printout from his own body cam. Timestamped, showed 2 SUVs blocking the stop sign. At that angle, could you see if my client actually stopped? He hesitated. I judged it best I could. But could you clearly see? Not completely, no. Noted. Now, the audio, I quoted him. He's twitchy, probably high. Is that correct? Yes. Did you do any field sobriety tests? No. Drug screening? No. So, on what basis did you decide he was probably high? He shrugged. He was fidgeting. Did he raise his voice? Threaten you? Refuse ID? No. I let the silence hang. So you stopped, searched, and cited him based on your feeling? By now, Kilroy was starting to sweat. Your report also says you saw a bag under the seat, suspected contraband. But the footage shows you never looked under the seat. How did you observe it? He stammered. I saw something dark. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe you were. Then I asked, in your 23 years, you ever been disciplined for misconduct? He froze. Once, 10 years ago. Complaint, excessive force. It was dropped. The judge nodded. The gallery leaned in. Now we were getting somewhere. What nobody expected, not even me, was how easy it was to unravel Kilroy's story, line by line, just using his own words. Officer Kilroy, I said, are you familiar with Plano PD's policy on suspicion-based stops? All stops must be based on specific actions, not gut feelings. You wrote, he fits the type. Always act the same when they've got something to hide. The room went ice cold. You meant what? Just guys who get nervous. You sure that's all? I quoted him again, just like the last kid, jumped like a rabbit when I reached for my belt. I asked, did you stop a young black man 6 months ago? Same precinct, same words? He tried to deny. But the report was in my hand. Was anything found? No. Was a complaint filed? Yes. Drop. No. His voice was small. Do you always use the same descriptions when there's no violation? I don't know. You don't know? Maybe. I rely on pattern recognition. Department doesn't call it that. Look, sometimes you just get a feel. There it was. Feelings aren't evidence, I said, calm as ever. Your department doesn't accept feelings as cause for a search. So I turned to the judge. Your Honor, this stop lacked legal grounds, misrepresented facts, subjective language, no supporting behavior. This isn't about seniority. It's about accountability. The judge nodded, but his poker face was slipping. And then, one question, quiet, but it changed everything. Officer Kilroy, did you know my client is a high school math teacher? He blinked. No. Did you ask? No. Did you ask him where he was coming from or going to? Didn't seem relevant. So to be clear, I said, the stop, search, and citation were based on a rolling stop you couldn't see, a bag you never identified, and a twitch you guessed meant trouble, all without asking a single question about who he was. He tried to wriggle out, but the truth was on tape. I finished. You saw a young black man in a hoodie, driving a used Camry, and you wrote his story before he even spoke. That's not policing, that's profiling. I wrapped up my cross and sat down. Nobody clapped. Nobody needed to. The whole room knew. He'd just been dismantled by the youngest person in the building, with nothing but facts. Now, let me give you the twist. You know how people always say you gotta yell and fight to be heard? I never raised my voice. I never got dramatic. All I did was force people to listen. The closing argument was short. Feelings aren't evidence. My client was profiled and cited because someone didn't bother to ask who he was before deciding what he was. Jury came back, 70 minutes. Not guilty. Courtroom just breathed out. Officer Kilroy? He just sat there, like maybe the last 23 years had finally caught up. I shook my client's hand, told him, "You're standing." That means they lost. Then I packed my binder, left the room to whispers about my age, about how I didn't crack, about how nobody was laughing anymore, not even Kilroy. Outside, reporters pounced. "Miss Benton, how does it feel to win?" I didn't pause. I'm not here to feel good. I'm here to make things right. That clip hit Twitter by dinner. She's 19. He's a cop for 23 years. Guess who came prepared? It was trending by sunset. People messaged me, lawyers, students, parents. My daughter wants to go to law school now. I didn't know you could talk like that in court. But let me be honest, it didn't feel like a win, not really. Because you know what happens next? The officer goes back to work, department issues a statement. We take public concerns seriously, we'll review the incident. Cut and paste every time. The world moves on. I don't do this for the applause, and I don't care about going viral. I do it because every time someone like me shows up and refuses to back down, it gets a little bit harder for the next officer to write a lazy report, and a little bit easier for the next person to stand up for themselves. I taught a youth legal class that week. Told those kids, you'll walk into rooms where no one thinks you belong. Don't waste time proving them wrong. Prove yourself right. One girl asked, how do you stay calm when they laugh at you? I said, because they laugh when they feel safe. I don't give them that. That's justice, just dressed different. At home that night, I wrote out a list. What we missed today. Because there's always more work. Maybe tomorrow they'll listen a little closer. Maybe the next kid won't get profiled. Maybe this time the silence will actually mean something. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not about shouting. It's about showing up, prepared, with the truth on your side. Never underestimate the quiet ones with something to prove and nothing to lose. And hey, if you felt anything hearing this, speak up. Share it. Challenge the normal. Because silence never changed a damn thing. But courage, backed by facts, that's where justice starts. So what do you think? Was justice served or just delayed? Tell me. Let's see what happens when nobody stays silent.